Social Security Administration weekly data for Help America vote verification transactions by state, week ending March 30th, 2024.
Yeah. So the long and short of this is directly from the Social Security government website, right?
Mm.
And this is supposed to help track the intake of voters and new voters broken down by state and by week. Okay. Now, go ahead and scroll down and see if there's anything weird. So, we got 25,000 in Arizona. That's a little weird. Total non-matches, 2,000.
Yeah.
Total matches, 22, stuff like that. A little weird, but compared to some of the others, like 14,000 in Georgia. Keep scrolling down. It's a little sussy. Arizona's a little sussy, but that's expected. Also, scroll back up to Arizona and scroll to the right because there's more stuff. And the most important one is multiple matches deceased, multiple matches active, single matches deceased. That's something you want to keep in mind for later.
Better zoom to get the whole thing in. Yeah, Arizona, a lot of total transactions, but 0 in the multiple matches deceased column. So let's continue scrolling down.
Go ahead and scroll down a bit.
Yeah,
scroll down a bit. No, there's Missouri. It's a little weird. 19,000.
Yeah. New Jersey, New York,
keep
North
scrolling
Carolina,
down.
All quite high.
See if you see anything weird.
Pennsylvania, 22,000. That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
But
Pennsylvania, but
bit less than Arizona.
You notice how there's a pattern to these. These were problem states in the 2020 election.
Yeah. And do you know what was? I think we might be about to hit something a little different. Meanwhile, Texas.
Yeah.
225,000.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness, that's quite a lot.
It is. That is, and also you can, the other thing that you can see here is the total for this week. Texas is over half of the total intake of new voters for 1 week. And if you look, now it's going to be a little awkward, but scroll to the right a little bit. For Texas. A little bit more.
That's as far as it goes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 190,000 dead.
That is total matches.
Single match deceased.
Single match deceased. 4,500.
Oh, so that's 4,000. My mistake.
Yeah.
So over 4,500 dead people signed up to vote in Texas
that were discovered to be dead.
Oh yeah.
Specifically.
Oh yeah, that were discovered to be dead.
And guys, you should say this is 1 week. Okay, I hadn't clocked that, but these stats are weekly. So
this is weekly, yeah.
225,000 new voters signed up in Texas in a week, and 4,500 of them were dead.
Yeah,
and let's have a look.
By the way, that is the week of March 30th, 2024, is what you're looking at.
Week ending, yeah. So that's a
Yep.
lot. Almost as if
in 1 week.
Oh, I don't know. Almost as if someone, wouldn't mind Texas, I don't know, shifting hues slightly. Who knows? But how would they do? You can't just magic up 225,000 people out of nowhere. So that's a crackpot theory. However, you want me to have a look at the next link, Wes?
Yeah, go ahead, because they're, it's weird, but also, Pennsylvania looked weird, and what were the other states?
Texas, Pennsylvania,
Arizona,
Missouri, Georgia, and Arizona. Surprisingly, pretty much exactly the sort of risky swing states back in 2020.
Yeah.
Strangely.
Exactly. So go ahead and click on the next link.
Here's the next link. Right, this is
So this is the week of
ending February.
Yeah, February 17th. It's going a little scroll down, Reno.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay,
So Arizona 31,000. That's quite
another 31,000 in 1 week.
In 1 week.
Little weird. Little weird.
It's a lot of kids hitting 18 in 1 week. It's shockingly high number.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
Illinois 11,000, almost 12,000.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia 8,000. California, that's less relevant, but still 8,000.
Yeah.
Missouri 78,000.
Yeah,
it's quite a lot.
Yeah, gun scroll to the right there a little bit.
Let's have a little look over here. Oh. 23,000 of them were dead. That's about a third of them.
Yep.
And down here at the bottom, you got Pennsylvania 62,000, of which 60,000 were found to be dead. Wait, is that the right column?
No, that's the single match.
No, sorry, that was the alive. Okay, almost none were found to be dead. 29 were found to be dead. Texas, though, again, 219,000 additional voters, and 4,500 found to be dead.
That's weird, isn't it?
Goodness me.
Ain't it weird? So Uzalu, here's something that a couple of people. So obviously this made the rounds. Do me a favor. Open up a new tab on your browser.
Oh, I like doing that.
And go to 270towin.com.
Is this an IP grab away?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Make sure you switch your VPN off.
Oh, yeah.
No. So click on Texas and click on Missouri. Make it blue. Make them both blue.
Okay. And where's Missouri? I always forget. Is it this one? MO? Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
What's that? Oh,
that's really weird.
What is that? What does that change?
Here. I've noticed
what
something
does that
here
change?
With that. Just those two states.
Yeah.
It's subtle, but I have noticed that similarly to the Supreme Court needing exactly 13 members, if just Texas and Missouri were to flip blue from this prediction, then the Democrats would just about win the majority.
Just barely win.
Just barely.
Just barely.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That is weird.
It's weird how that works.
So weird.
It's weird. So, when you get people like, because here's the thing. Do you know who made this connection?
No, actually.
Do you know who made a lot of these connections? Who was publicly been saying these things?
No.
Tim Pool.
Well done, Tim Pool.
Yeah. Tim
Pool's research
has been going
probably, but still.
Yeah. But Tim Pool has been publicly saying on his show that there is open and blatant rigging going on.
Oh, good for Tim. This is similarly to what he was saying just before last time. Just before he started saying, well, if Biden cheats, I guess whatever equals Tim.
Well, that is true. But right now, he is openly saying that they are trying to rig the election. Hey, Dev. Hey, Dev, with your.
No, there actually is no evidence of them. Of them. There's no conspiracy here. Yeah, this is conspiracy theory minded.
Now, there is a little thing out there. It's called the difference between evidence and proof. Okay. Do you know the difference between evidence and proof?
Proof is only possible in a self-definitional mathematical context.
It's you are supposed to. Proof is you have discovered things that support the claim beyond the shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
That
in a legal context, shadow of a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. Evidence is stuff that you bring to the table to try to
It builds towards
convince
that
those.
level.
Yeah, it builds the and I understand I'm not doing it exactly right because I have 2 drinks in me and I was already sleep deprived. So
Nah, that's close enough.
I'm kind of going off the cuff here, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Them using COVID as an excuse to get all of the Republican poll watchers out. That alone could be explained. Them using multiple excuses, and by the way, this is in several states. So them using multiple excuses to shut down the voting process while the vote counting process while still counting the votes. That's another thing. That them saying that there was a pipe bursting and then there's no evidence of the pipe bursting. Them putting up plywood in front of the windows where they're counting the votes. That them illegally changing voting laws at the last minute with no pushback in the state. That's another. All of this shit together, plus all of the new stuff, and the guy who basically invented the laser jet printer going, I have looked at these ballots. I have looked at over 100,000 ballots from over a dozen states, and every single one of the ballots in question I have looked at had never gone through the mail. You can tell by the distress marks. It has never gone through the mail. These ballots never went through the mail.
I mean, you and I could just sit here rattling off examples of how the election was rigged for the next hour.
Yeah, but what type of mentality do you have to look at all of that?
Mm.
And this. This is from the Social Security website. This is from a government how much more your appeal to authority is so sycophantically dependent on it's got to be an authoritative source. It's got to be. This is a government website. They are telling you. You could tell by the raw data. And this is only a couple of examples. You can see that it is a blatant attempt to flood these states with voters, with vote numbers, with vote names. It's blatant, dude. How much more do you need, Dev? How much more proof do you need before you can even begin to fathom this blatant reality that we all see in front of us, that we have all seen in front of us for 4 goddamn years now? How much more do you need? I don't freaking get it, my dude. And the reason why, the reason why I'm kind of like harping on this, because there's plenty of other people. There's plenty of other people who don't believe it. There's plenty of other people who dismiss it. That's fine. That's with Dev. Dev is an otherwise smart guy. Dev is a man who is capable of deduction. Dev is a man who I know for a fact is not a dum-dum head, right? He's not. But yet he does, he like, I genuinely want to know, are you doing it to keep your channel safe? Is that it? Because bro, like, here's the thing, my dude. Here's the thing. If that's the case, DM me and say, yes, that you have my word, Dev. I have never broken my word to you. You have my word that if that is the case, I will drop this and I will never share it. I will never talk about it again. But my silence will be deafening. That is a warning. But if you DM me and say, yeah, I understand. I don't want to lose my YouTube channel. I don't agree, but I understand. You have given me a reason for your logic. I will accept that for what it is. But this shit, this inconsistent shit, don't make no damn sense. I just, it drives me a freaking wall, dude. And yeah, Matthias shared it again. The secret history of the shadow campaign that saved the 2020 election. They told you they stole it. They told you. They bragged on Time magazine. They bragged about it. How much more do you need?
I think this is called lampshading, this thing. Because they just, like, they gave a little bit of what they did, just a hint, made it sound good, and then anyone that says that it was rigged, the person that's read this will just think of this and just use this as the response. It's a sort of containment, and the term lampshading I've heard before. I think it fits this.
It's just, bro, it's so disappointing.
I don't know Dev as well as you, so I don't really know the man's mind very well for this kind of thing, but the only reason that people should not be aware, or the only reasonable explanation why someone wouldn't be aware the 2020 election was rigged is because they have just sucked down the propaganda and have not actually looked into it properly. That's most people. Actually, not even most in the US, because a lot of people in the US, by some polls more than half, do believe the election was rigged. But the ones that don't, a lot of people they haven't looked into it, and they haven't looked into anyone that has looked into it. They just have heard the propaganda. They just have, default assumed that it's not the case. Dev should not be in that category. Dev should be in the category of people who, it's his job to look into it. Now, I suspect, unfortunately, it's not for his YouTube channel. As I suspect you would also presume that it's not to protect himself, that in fact it's a willful refusal to look into it because he would rather it not be true, which is a tale as old as time. There may be things for which all of us have done that at some point, but not for something this important.
Yeah. There's a part of me that really would like, I don't need it, obviously. I would like an answer. I would like because this doesn't. I'm looking at an almost complete 5,000 piece puzzle, and I'm looking at a puzzle piece that don't fit. You know, it's like I know Dev pretty well. We've known each other for a while, even though we haven't really talked much in the last couple of years. But still, known each other for a while. We worked together for a few times. You know, we've hung out many times. You know, like that's the thing. And it sucks. And it's like, bro, and look, I've gone through that before, you know, where someone just changes, but usually it involves drugs or a woman, you know.
Because we have to specify that these days.
Yeah. No, look, man, changes a man. You know, they start getting a steady supply, they will change inherently. Sometimes it's for the better, sometimes it's for the worse. I don't think it's that. No, I'm not saying that's Dev. No, I'm not. No. It's not that. But what I'm saying is there are things that change a man. Money, fear, power, these types of things, influence. These types of things change a man. And, you know, I'm willing to bet that it's a combination of some. I would like an answer. Because if you really are just, I don't see it. I just don't see it. That's just really.
Yeah. That's, I don't want to, again, for the average person, I would believe they wouldn't know sort of where to start. But Dev's actually quite good at researching sometimes. Like, I've seen his videos in the past, and many of them are fine. Even quite recently, many of them are good. And I've defended one or two of them from my own audience who have said this is kind of crap. And I've said, no, I get what he's saying. It makes sense. And on other cases, he does do good research. So, Dev, here is the evidence. .com. This is where you start. In case you didn't know. It's one of the probably many very good sources, but this one aggregates them. And I haven't looked through it in great detail, but the skimming I've done lines up pretty well with what I observed back in 2020. I mean, Dev, like I as a content creator, I'm not all that heavy on the research. I'm perfectly capable of doing it, and I'll do it when it matters. But I usually prefer other ways of approaching things than like deep in like a precise research. You're more so in the research camp, but even I in 2020, because it mattered, spent probably more than 100 hours of streams going over the actual evidence of election rigging. And what were you doing when I was doing that? Because it does matter. I'm not in the US, neither are you, but you're actually a lot closer than I am. So it still matters. It matters to all of us what happens there. What were you doing when I was looking through all that evidence?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say this about most topics, but that is so important that to be a content creator in the same sort of sphere that we're in and to have not done at least a portion of that level of research on that topic, as Wes says, even if you know someone, you can expect that they would care, that they would do the due diligence, but they oddly just don't. As Wes says, he knows you, but this doesn't fit. So what is it? What factor is it? I get where Wes is coming from. Make no mistake, no matter how much evidence you see about election rigging, we had enough within the first month at most. Way more than enough, frankly. And it was presented to legislators. So in terms of like, what if one day we can prove it? No, it's established. It is known. Yeah. It's just not yet enacted, that knowledge. You know, the knowledge is not in use by the public. It is known by overwhelming evidence that the election was rigged.
Yep. And that's the thing. It's look, man, everybody got to agree. You know, everyone's got that one thing, that one piece of superstition that we cling to and desperately believe it's real. And I'm not talking about God or anything. No, I'm talking about normal little things, you know? Like everyone's got their own little superstitions. Everyone's got their own things that we irrationally cling to. Everyone's got it. Even if you don't think you do, you do. And that's human. But a mature person will admit it.
Especially when it's presented to them as a problem. And especially when it's presented to them politely initially as a problem.
And like, especially when it's your job, your career to talk about the field that it's in, and you blatantly just avoid it. Bro.
Yeah.
It's getting a little rough.
Yeah.
But, you know, what are you going to do? That was my thing. Like, I saw that, and I verified it. I looked into it myself, and I'm like, holy shit, this is going on. This actually is, it's here. It's right there. The evidence is right there.
Yeah.
Why are they filling up these states in particular so much every week? Well, you go to 270 to win, and looky here. You flip these states, they take the country.
Mm.
Or they'll try to, at least.
Yeah. The Abbott needs to get his finger out for this. And quick.
Oh, they're investigating. Texas is investigating. I don't know about Missouri. But Texas is pushing
Texas
back.
Would be enough in theory, but I don't know actually, but we'll see. But what was I going to say? Yeah, in 2020, I think their strategy was about half and half, cheating and manipulating. Let's say manipulating to be a broad term for honest persuasion and dishonest persuasion, whichever one does both to some extent.
Oh yeah, the Hunter Biden laptop manipulation alone.
Sure,
cost Biden the election.
Control of information, whether it's honest or dishonest, their strategy in 2020 was probably about 50-50. Of course, Democrats was mostly dishonest information and in the manipulation side, and of course then cheating was the entire other half. This time I'm predicting closer to like 80-20. They didn't even campaign last time. They didn't even send Biden out. This time they're going to ramp up the cheating, so they're not even going to let Trump campaign this time. You have a story on that?
Yep.
That we might get to later. And Biden's probably going to stay in his basement again. And their election strategy, make no mistake, their election strategy is not where they're campaigning, what issues they're talking about, who they can appeal to, nothing to do with what democracy is actually about. Their election strategy is almost entirely mass importation of foreigners as the main form of election rigging, but lots of other forms too. That is their main election strategy this year.
Oh, yeah. And it has been for a while. Again, the dead vote Democrat.
Yeah.
It's been a saying for a long time.
Well, they've been doing it for a long time. My point is this year will probably give up almost the entire pretense and just focus on that.
Oh, yeah. They're going, because they've tried diseases again. They've tried lockdowns again. They've tried racial tensions again. Hasn't worked. They're in the process of trying war. But I don't think it's going to work out. I don't think it's going to go through because it's good chunk of it is Twitter. A good chunk of it is the fact that the main battleground for the discussion of ideas is Twitter, and Twitter is a neutral platform.
Yeah.
Well, as neutral as they could get it in the short amount.
Yeah, it's a much better.
It's getting better.
Much better.
But man, I just wanted to share that. I just wanted to get that off my chest because it really is sad to see Dev in the state that he's in. And he doesn't even realize it. He thinks he's fine. That's the worst part. Sometimes you have to convince a man he's drowning. And that can be the most difficult part. And coming from a psychological education, I can tell you with absolute certainty that the worst and most difficult stage of recovery is admitting you have a problem, because no amount of outside help can do that.
Yeah.
That can only be done by you. And realizing that you have an issue is the hardest part of recovery. That's why so many people are unable to do it. So many people are unable to come back from the brink. And it's like I said last time, we all know someone. We all know someone who has gone too far down the other side of various things. But like, there's no, it's going to take a miracle, an act of God in order to fix it, to make, not fix it, because it's not fixing it. It's at least acknowledging that you have an issue that needs to be fixed, because once you do that, you can start fixing it. You can go, oh my God, I can't believe it. I do have this issue. Can you help me? And I can't speak for anything else, but I will. I will help. You probably don't want my help, but that's the problem. The problem is, and I'm not saying this is like a narcissism thing, but someone that you trust. Go to Sargon. Go to Carl, go to Arch, go to V, go to people who have been desperately trying to tell you for years now that you are going too far down the road. You don't have to come to me, because I'm nobody. I'm a random voice on the internet. You shouldn't trust me. But go to someone, for God's sakes. And if you do want to come to me, you know I am a DM away. We are friends still on Discord, on Twitter. I'm a DM away, bro. And I want to help you, but you don't want the help. You don't think you need help. Just like I've seen a myriad of other times. I don't want to see you go down the useful idiot road, but you are, oh boy, are you going into the off-ramp. So anyway, that's it. We can move on.
He's a lot more likely to go to you for help than me.
Well, yeah, but like he's got
Which is
closer.
Yeah.